In this video, we'll be looking at the magic of alignment feature in Affinity, and we'll see how intuitive the alignment feature is in Affinity. So without any further ado, let's get started. So as you can see in Artboard 1, we have a sphere shape. So let's align the sphere shape in Artboard 1. So click on the sphere shape and then navigate up to our alignment tool at the top. Click on the alignment tool, and now you can see that we have an alignment box appeared. We can align this sphere shape both horizontally as well as vertically. So to align it horizontally to the left, let's click on align left icon right here. And now you can see that the sphere has aligned to the left of Artboard 1. And similarly, to align the sphere to the right, we can click on this particular icon called align right, and this will align the sphere to the rightmost part of the artboard 1. Similarly, to align the sphere to the top of the artboard, click on align top icon right here, and this will align the sphere to the top of the artboard, and again click on align bottom to align the sphere to the bottom of artboard. So let's now bring the sphere back to its previous position, which is at the center of the artboard 1, and to do that we can either click on this align center icon or align middle icon. However, the next way of bringing it back to its original position is to simply click on the last icon that we selected. So let's click on align right icon, which is currently active, and now you can see that it has been brought back to its original horizontal position. And similarly, let's click on this particular align bottom icon to bring it back to the middle of the artboard. And now you can see that we have our sphere back. Now let's move on to artboard number 2. In artboard number 2, you can see that we have different collections of spheres. So first of all, to align them, let's select all the spheres. So let's select them individually by holding down the shift key. And after selecting all the spheres, let's navigate to the top of our alignment tool. And now, first of all, let's bring them all vertically to the center or middle. So to do that, simply navigate to align vertically, group right here, and click on align middle. And now you can see that all of the spheres have been positioned vertically to the center or middle. And now let's distribute them evenly because the space that are present between each sphere are not consistent. So let's navigate and click on this distribute icon right here to space horizontally. If you click on it, you can see that all the spheres have been evenly distributed across the collection of spheres. And this has been done automatically because we have selected auto distribute option right here, which distributes the distances between each individual sphere automatically. Now let's try to manually distribute these spheres in Artboard 2. So to do that, let's uncheck auto distribute. And now you can see the spacing properties have been activated. So to manually space them evenly, we can give a value to the spacing properties right here. So we can manually give it any value. I'll give it a value of 45 right here. Let's type in 45 pixels. And now you can see that it has been evenly spaced out or distributed by 45 pixels apart. So we can also click on the spacing label and increase or decrease it to adjust the spacing value. So after we are satisfied with the spacing between each of the sphere that you can see here on Artboard 2, all we can do is click and drag them to center it at the middle. So before that, please be mindful that we must turn on our snapping options so that it will give us the appropriate guides to center them to the middle of the Artboard 2. And now you can see that the guides has helped us to center our sphere to Artboard 2. And our sphere or the collection of sphere is now centered. Let's now move on to Artboard 3. In Artboard 3, you can see that we have many sets of spheres. So in Artboard 3, we will dive deep into how we can evenly distribute between each objects that you can see here by using the key object feature or the nominated object feature. So first of all, let's select our first set of spheres. And to select them, I'll first of all click on our first sphere to identify where it is located in our layer panel. And you can see that in our layer panel, it has been located right here. Now let me select all of the relevant artboards. Let me select it by holding down the shift key and click on each of the sphere layers to select the relevant spheres in the set. So after we have selected all the spheres in the first set, now let's nominate or let's assign a key object with whose reference we can distribute all of the spheres that are present in the set evenly. So to assign an object, all we can do is hold down the option key and click on any of the object that you want to nominate. So I'll first of all nominate this sphere right here, and after I've clicked on this sphere to nominate, you can clearly see that it has been highlighted by a blue blurry border around it. And similarly, you can also notice in our layers panel that the key object or the nominated object has been lightly highlighted with the blue. Now let's distribute it evenly with the reference to the key object that has been nominated. So let's navigate up to our alignment tool, and after navigating up to our alignment tool, let's click on this particular space horizontally icon to distribute them evenly. So after we click on it, you can see that it has distributed the middle of the initial or the first sphere and the nominated sphere evenly. That is, it has distributed the object or the sphere between the first sphere of the set and the nominated object or the selected key object of the set evenly, and the same spacing will be applied to the remaining of the spheres. Now let's move on to our next set. So we can commit this even distribution by clicking on apply button right here. Now let's select all the spheres in set 2. So to do that, let's click on the first sphere, and then let's select the remaining sphere by holding down the shift key and clicking on the remaining sphere like so. After selecting all the spheres in the set 2, now let's hold down the option key and set a key object or nominated object. So hold down the option key and I'll choose this particular sphere right here as a nominated object. So after selecting the key object or the nominated object, now let's navigate to the top of our alignment toolbar again, and then let's click on this space horizontally icon in order to distribute them evenly. And as soon as we click it, you can now see that the spheres between the initial sphere object and the nominated or key object are evenly distributed. And the same distribution and the spacing properties will be followed or continued by other remaining objects. Now let's move on to our third set. So we can also click outside of the alignment box in order to commit. Now let's select the spheres on our third set. Let's hold down the shift key and click on the first sphere, second sphere, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth sphere of our third set. Now let's hold down the option key again and click on any of the sphere that we want. So I'll click on this particular sphere right here, and after clicking that, you can see that the blue line has appeared, which indicates that this particular sphere object has been nominated or this particular sphere object has been selected as a key object. Now let's navigate up to our alignment tool again, and now let's hold down the option key and click on the space horizontally icon again. So what this does is it will evenly distribute the objects between the key object or nominated object and the last sphere object right here, and the same distribution will be followed or continued by other remaining objects, which is the first and second. So now if I go ahead and click on this particular space horizontally icon again, it will bring back the distribution to the same point that we saw before. And now again, let's go ahead and click on this option now without holding down the option key. And now this will evenly distribute the space horizontally, as you can see here. Now let's move on to our artboard 4. In artboard 4, you can see varieties of shape. Now let me go ahead and click outside of the alignment box to commit. In artboard 4 as well, let us select all of the objects that are present in artboard 4 by holding down the shift key and clicking on each individual object. After selecting all of the objects in artboard 4, let us navigate up to our alignment tool again. Now we can make the dimension of each individual shape the same by using the make same feature right here. So this is a very magical kind of feature, and we can make the dimension the same of each individual object with the reference to width, height, and rotation. So if we click on height, you can now see that it has adjusted the height of all the big layers in reference to our firstly selected object, which is this sphere right here. And to maintain the aspect ratio, we can simply navigate and check this check mark right here. And now you can see that it has maintained the aspect ratio and adjust the dimension similar to how the first selected sphere was. Now we can simply go ahead and click on apply, or we can adjust the dimension as per the width as well as rotation. However, before clicking apply, I'll first of all align them. So to align them, I'll navigate up and click on the align vertically to the middle icon right here. And you can see now that it has vertically been aligned to the middle of the selection bounds that was right here. So if we need to align it vertically to our artboards in the middle, all we can do is navigate to the selection bound drop down and click on artboard again. And now you can see that this set of objects has been aligned vertically to the middle of artboard 4. Now let us move it by our cursor manually to center it to the middle of artboard 4. So let us click and adjust it to align it to the center horizontally of artboard 4. Now let's move on to our artboard 5. In artboard 5, you can see that we have same objects in different sizes. So we need to maintain its rotation and make the rotation as the same for each individual object irrespective of the sizes. So to do that, let's click on outside of artboard 5 and get rid of our previous selections. And now let's hold down the shift key and click on our first object, second object, third object and fourth object. And now let's navigate back to our alignment tool again, and let's navigate down to the section of make same, and we want to make the rotation similar according to or with the reference to our firstly selected object, which is this one. And let's navigate to the right icon called rotation and click on it. And now you can see that all of the other remaining objects have been rotated back similar to how the firstly selected objects was rotated. Similarly, we can also make the size same similar to how the firstly selected object was. So to do that, let's navigate to the height icon right here and click on it. And now let's check the maintain aspect ratio checkbox right here and maintain the ratio and make the sizes of the remaining object similar to how the firstly selected object was. Finally, let's align them to the center vertically, and to do that, let's navigate to our align vertically section and click on align middle. And we can also evenly distribute them horizontally by going up or navigating up and clicking on space horizontally icon to space them evenly like so. Now after we are satisfied with our alignment, let's navigate back and click on apply button to commit. So this is how we can align in Affinity. If you find this video helpful, please click on the like button, and for more tips and tricks related to Affinity, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching this video and see you on the next video.